We're asking this morning, how can you tell if your child could be a victim of cyberbullying, and what do you do to help? Dr. John Hertzer is the Director of Child and Adolescent Psychology at University Hospitals, and he's here with some great advice for parents. And thank you so much for being here, because this is something obviously that's affecting so many children, so many young people. Can it happen to people, do you see mostly that they know, or can it be people that they don't know bullying them?
It can be either, Stephanie, and we know that cyberbullying can be anonymous. It spreads quickly. It can be more intense than traditional bullying, because the days of leaving the bully on the playground are behind us. This can be around the clock, and that distance tends to embolden and intensify the aggression that can come out of it.
We always say that people hide behind computers, or they can hide behind phones. You said it happens with text messages and emails and social media with Instagram and Facebook.
Absolutely. Text, emails, instant messaging, social networking sites. And on the front end, we encourage parents to share the profile of their children on their Facebook and MySpace page, so they're aware and involved in their messaging going on.
That can be hard, because a lot of times the kids are more tech savvy than the parents. So it's hard for us to navigate exactly all the stuff that they're involved with.
Absolutely. And overall, a parent should also look out for signs that their child or teen is being cyberbullied.
What are those signs?
Those can be loss of interest in activities, withdrawing, social anxiety, withdrawing from social situations, school avoidance. We do know that those who are cyberbullied have higher rates of depression, anxiety, as well as the bullies themselves can have higher rates of depression. So they may be using aggression for some other means.
What happens if your child just doesn't open up to you? Because those things that you mentioned sound to me like just typical kids going through their change, and you know, when they're shying away and withdrawing a little bit, that just seems like a normal teenage behavior. So how can you really break through? Because a lot of these kids, they don't feel comfortable maybe talking to their parents about it.
Well, certainly a mental health evaluation is encouraged for kids who have changes in behavior from their previous level of functioning. Teachers and schools can be important resources for having other eyes on these kids who may be going through changes with their friends, with their academics, with their participation in the classroom setting. With coaches are valuable informants in terms of recognizing changes in behavior as well.
Always keep that line of communication open, right?
Absolutely.
How important is that, and how do you get those dialogues going with your kids?
It's important over the dinner table to talk about these issues. Normalize the conversation as it pertains to cyberbullying without normalizing the content of the messages that they may be receiving, such that hopefully that opens the door of communication.
And we're seeing these stories sadly make the news because these kids are taking their own lives because it's too much for them.
There are certainly examples, sadly, of kids committing suicide due to cyberbullying. At this point, we can attribute it as a risk factor but not a cause. The so-called cyberbullicide is a term used for kids who have committed suicide as a result of cyberbullying. We
want to say, too, we're talking about this because the 10th Annual Suicide Prevention Education Alliance Into the Light Walk takes place this Sunday, October 6th at 6 p.m. at the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo. And you can head to fox8.com, click on the Morning Show tab for more details, but something definitely that affects so many young people, sadly.
It's a wonderful organization, Suicide Prevention Education Alliance. As you said, Stephanie, the walk is this Sunday, October 6th at 6 p.m. Through their outreach programs, they've reached 120,000 students and 130 schools.
That's great.
With the mission to help kids recognize depression, and in doing so, prevent suicide, which is their primary mission.
Dr. John Hertzer, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it. Great information this morning.
Thank you, Stephanie.
All right, it is now 8:48, currently 67 degrees outside. Do you love your job so much that you never want to leave? Facebook workers